Everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful day. I'm Mike, and yeah, welcome. We're going to talk about, this right here, what's inside this right here. So hang in there, I'll be right back with you. Let's discuss this product from Bushmen Gear. Another product I know. I'll be right back with you. Again, welcome back everybody, and we're going to talk about this product right here from Bushmen Gear. It's called the HIDEOUT THERMO. It's a bivy bag, poncho, tarp, 360-degree hammock cover, all with bug net hood. And yeah, there's a QR code there if you want to put it on pause. Put it right there. You can scan it, look for it. This has been a more complicated bag for me to sort of talk about, or item from their company talk about, from Bushmen Gear, and that's because it is, to me, it's a bit complicated. Maybe it's because you know, I'm just not as smart as the next guy, but it's a bit complicated. It's camouflage, like you see, with olive, and it's a really good product actually. It's just one of those kind of products that's quite complicated for my brain and to get around. It's made in Poland. And it says you definitely should keep it away from fire. So let's unzip this thing and talk about what it is. As you see immediately, you see this thermal rated material here, and this is actually quite good, especially for a winter bag. Now, what can you use this thing for? Well, hiking, camping, hunting, all those kind of things. Why? Because you can set yourself up static in this thing right here on the ground, and you have yourself a really nice setup when it comes to a, you know, just keeping yourself warm, static position, whatever, you know, while using it. As you see here, it has this hood built into it, which you can unzip, get out of it right here. I'm gonna put this thing on here real quick and show you. Got a lot of zippers on it. It's a bit complicated, I find, all the zipper systems on it. They have a video on their channel, and that video is much better than probably what I'm gonna make here today. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be a bit more honest with you about it. As I'm talking about it. Now you see it has a hood on it right here, has a wire, a rim built into it. Okay. This front cover right here on it, you can really cinch it down, I guess, if you need to. Has a bug net built into it also. So if you're dealing with, you see it right here, and this right here pulls down and goes all around. Now, I'm not a big fan of these things, I'll be honest with you, but what I do like about this thing is that it is a thermo poncho. And you give you a good idea of the size of it. Got your arm holes here in it. It'll get back and forward on it, you know. And it is quite warm inside this thing, okay? It's a bit too warm in it for me, especially on a day like today is, you know, but it definitely will keep the rain off of you and keep you warm. Now, what I like about this thing is that it has a lot of uses to it. Like I said, you can unzip it, put out like a poncho, and here's the zipper on it. Right here, one of the zippers. Now it has several types of zippers. You see here, they have this little thing that they play with this part right here and this part right here. Now when you zip the smaller part right here, it allows you to manipulate it a little differently. Now I've been looking at their videos, and I must be pretty slow in the head because I have a hard time sorting this thing out. But one thing I can tell you is that you can do a lot with it. I mean, let's pop this thing off my head, off my body here, and see what we can do. Now, this bivy top right here can go on this end or the other end. Like I said, you can put your sling bag in it. You can get in it with a sling bag. You can zip it up. You have the zipper right here on top. The zipper's on the inside of this. This part pops out, which actually I think is a great idea. And then you have the arm sleeves here or your actually this is your head hood right here, and you can actually zip this thing back up once you figure out. You know, I'm not a big fan of all these zippers, just not. And one of the reasons is because I find that there's just too many of them and it adds a lot of weight to it. But this one right here, you pop it back in on itself. And you're supposed to be able to zip it back up together once you've done that. Like I said, I've been playing with this thing. It frustrates me because I find it a bit complicated. I'm gonna be honest with you about this stuff. You know, if I like something, I'm gonna tell you. There you go. Now we've zippered that part up, the hood part. Okay, you have a chest pocket on it right here. We're gonna close that up. Has a zipper closure. I do apologize. There's like a humming noise in the back, but what that is, the farmers are cutting hay. So it's one of those first hay cuts for the season. And so what you can then do is turn it on the side. Now here you have a tarp right here. And what I like about it is that on the inside of it is this reflective material, so you can set it up, this tarp right here, from the ground, and you have a nice reflective barrier on here that'll hold in your heat, but also if you have a long fire from it, it'll reflect that fire in. I like that. That's a great concept. It's a great idea. You'll see that in a past video I made about I think it's the Helvetiabushcraft, and they have a very similar concept with their system. I think here's like basically a copy of it, but what they've done with this right here, they just added a lot of zippers to it. Now, you can then go into this thing and zip into it from this end, one of these ends right here. Like I told you, this thing right here for me, it is a bit complicated. I don't like the complexity of it. It doesn't have to be so complicated. They put too many zippers on it to make it do what it's done. And that's just my own personal critique. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it just, for me, it's just complicated a bit where, you know, they didn't necessarily have to do that. But what you do is you pop it back into these two right here on the end, and you can zip this end right here shut. Okay, so this will be your foot end, all right, of this thing. All right, is it the foot end? Can't be the foot end. Can't be the foot end. I think I just screwed this up. Man, like I told you, this thing is complicated to me. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense the way that, because they've had all these zippers to it, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It would have been a lot easier to just have one all the way around zipper that you can open up, and you can you know, have some buttons on it, some snaps like that, or something like that to sort of hold all that in. It doesn't have to be so complicated, but sometimes that we spend too much time complicating things, and then what you have is you end up with a piece of gear that's just too complicated to use. And that's what I found this to sort of be, a bit too complicated to use. Now, let's try this again here now. This should be the long zipper right here. Hey, I put my glasses on, can't really see. That's what age happens with, you know. You gotta have those glasses. And then you pop this back through the two zippers again. You pull the long zipper, and it goes to the halfway point, I believe what it does. So the thing with all these zippers, that things get hung up in them, they overcomplicate the whole thing, and the next thing you know, you're not using this, you know. Like I said, I would rather have just a long zipper on it that works its way around. Now we have like the foot end of it. Something else, I think this thing is probably going to be too small to get into for me. And I understand that. I'm a big guy, I'm not a little guy. But all right, so this is zipped down to here, and now we need to zip it down to the other end where the feet are at. And like I said, it's got all these zippers on it, so you really, like, you know, you really don't know what's what when you get down to this. I really am a bit lost with this right here, the zipper system on it. Yeah, it doesn't seem very mic friendly, I would say. Anyway, then you have, it zips up on itself. You have this long end right here. I think one end is actually, this end is actually larger than the other end. So let's see if we can't get into it. I have to unzip it now. Partially. See if I can't get inside this thing. That way you have your little bivvy bag. I just don't see it becoming a bivvy bag with me inside of it. I just don't see it happening. Like I said, it seems really complicated. It's got it's got all these zippers that run into each other, and it doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense to me. Like I said, they have a video on this, and they talk you through it. Well, I mean, let's see something here. If it'll fit into it. Yes. So I can get in this thing. It's not too bad. Definitely can get in this thing. I don't know about getting into it with my big sleeping bag system, but this way right here, if you need a survival bag to get into. Now, of course, the bottom's open. I have to figure out how to do that. So that's the problem with the whole system. Okay, like I said, the concept, the idea is a great idea. I just think that Bushmen have overcomplicated this bag right here to a level that is frustrating. And I don't like being frustrated with a piece of kit that I sort of can't get, but that's what it's done. It's really frustrated me to the point to where that's what I'm doing with it. Putting it aside, I will never use it. I prefer my Feldjurgen from Feldraven, and it's a much simpler system. What would I use it for? Well, I use it mostly for the tarp or a ground sheet. For me, that would be fine. But like I said, with all the zippers, this kind of stuff on it, you're paying for all that. So it's adding to the price, where in reality, all you need yourself is just basically the tarp that's the largest right here, the 3x3 tarp that they have from the same company from them. You see it sitting back there? Now I got to take it and put it back into this little thing and carry it back out of here. I do apologize. But you see my frustration with it. You see what really just irritates me about it. And that is all these zippers. I've watched the video. I've sat in my living room trying to figure this thing out, and it still makes no sense to me. It's just, like I said, look at this. Look at all these zippers right here. It doesn't make any sense to me what goes where and how it goes there and what it does. It just makes zero sense to me. And this is what my problem is. I just don't understand why they've complicated it with all these zippers. It only needs one zipper. These other ones right here, it doesn't need them. It doesn't need them whatsoever. They don't, as far as I'm concerned, they do nothing for the bag. They don't help the bag. They make the bag where you have all these uses for it, and I personally don't think that it I mean, it's pretty simple. It's a poncho. You turn it sideways, you open the hood up, and there you go, like a traditional poncho, which you can take the hood off if you want to. That elaborate. Close it up with the waterproof. It's a waterproof zippers actually, and then you use it as a tarp or a ground sheet. You can stick your head through it, put your arms out the side. I think that's enough. You don't need to have all of these zippers with one zipper that goes all the way around it. Maybe both ends, that'd be fine also. You do have this elastic at the top right here, which you can tighten this whole thing off with, which is a good idea. So you can tighten it up around your head area. But like I said, the rest of it, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm sure that Bushman's not gonna like this video with me complaining about it. But they are a company that does seem to reinvent themselves quite often with their material, their kits. They change things around a good bit, which I think is a great idea. Look at that, see there? It immediately gets caught up inside the material when you're zipping it. You can damage it. That's not a very good idea either. It just has too many potential fail points and flaws in it for me, for my experience. You know, I've been doing this for a long time, and you got to go with the rule KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. And they've just made this one stupid. It's not simple. It's not easy to play with. It's not easy to deal with. And that, for me, that's a major problem with the system. And for that reason, unless you're an expert on how to deal with this thing, I wouldn't spend any money buying it. I just wouldn't do it. I just don't think that it's what I would need, you know, on the market. I don't know if it does. Let me see if I can't get this end right here to sort of zip. If this end right here will zip, which I think I was just on this end right here. If I get this end to zip to the middle. Now, you come to the middle, and you should be able to zip this end all the way down. So what you do is you pull this up. You should be able to slide it in. I think what you have to do is you have to unzip this right here first. I'll tell you right now, it is a pain in the butt. It's just too, like I said, you got to train with this thing, man, before you ever use it. You unzip it, you zip this right here off. No, you can't zip it off. You sort of zip it out a little bit. Then you bring this to the top. I'm trying to remember that video also, which is not the easiest thing to remember either. The videos they came up with this thing. Yeah, you see, I don't even know where you zip that into. It just doesn't seem, unless you zip this all in all here, down, and then from the top here, yeah, here we go. Maybe this is what works. When you're also dealing with these open zippers like this right here, it can be a pain in the butt too. So let's see if we can't get this in there. Actually, all it's going to do is just open it up. It's not going to, yeah. There you go. You see there? I just cannot get my head around this thing. How it works, why it works the way it does. Because it doesn't seem to do what it says on the tin, as the British would say, and that's infuriating to me. That irritates me. I guess maybe if I come back down here to the bottom, or the midpoint, I could just back up this end right here. Maybe this will, let's see, you only have to work to get it in there. There we go. There, we got it. We've gotten it now. Now we have the bivvy bag. This end's closed. The side's closed now. And you can zip the top down. So there you go. Now you have the bivvy bag, and you can put the hood on it right here. So maybe I'm figuring this thing out a little better. You know, I like my gear to be able to pop it out of the bag and use it for what I want to use it for. And I myself am going to carry a rain jacket with me, so I wouldn't necessarily, or a poncho. You know, I like having a kit that does separate things, because that way I can get away from. Here you go. Now it's a format of bivvy bag, but you saw what I had to go through to figure it out. So you have to play with it. You have to play with it a lot to figure out how it works. This kind of stuff. Like I said, it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad concept. I just don't believe that that the design is all that great. That's my problem with it. I think it could be a better design, and that it would work much better if they just had a side zipper all the way down went around to the feet and opened up for a poncho. Then you can zip it back up for a bivvy bag with the elastic that you need to close it up. You can move the head from different places. I think that will be fine. You don't need side zippers if you're using it, where the Swagman came up with a belt. Okay, I think that would be enough, just to have a belt around it that pull the sides in, and then you could wear it like a poncho from the side view of it. Anyway, would I buy it? No, I wouldn't buy it, because I think that is it useful? Very useful, but I don't like. First of all, I don't sleep in bivvy bags. And the best bivvy bag on the market, I'm going to tell you right now, is Helvetiabushcraft has a bivvy bag. It's probably the best one on the market, because the bottom opens up. You can pull it up, tighten around your waist. You have a jacket. You have sleeves for it, or you just put your sling bag in it, lace up the bottom, tighten up the bottom. And I've used that one before, and it has the room in it for 2 people almost. So, and that's what you need. You need plenty of room on the inside, because if it's too tight, then your condensation has no place really to condensate. You know, you're going to condensate anything anyway. You're going to get wet in them anyway, because if you seal them up and you're inside of it, your condensation is going to make them wet. So that's the problem with bivvy bags. That's why normally I don't use a bivvy bag. If I'm out camping and I use a tarp or a sling bag and I find my feet are getting maybe a little too cool with that, I'll take my Gore-Tex jacket, zip it up, slide it over my feet, tuck the hood in and the sleeves in, and that usually is enough. A wet weather bag will do the same thing. In the Army, we used to use a wet weather bag to do the same thing, slide over our feet. Quick story, Yakima, Washington, in the Army, we were on an exercise up there, and we were really cold weather, wet, snowy weather. We were in these little GP small tents, I believe they were, GP medium tents, and had a potbelly stove in it with JP4 and diesel fuel. And I was closer to the stove where my feet was at. Fuel leaked all over my sleeping bag. I almost had frostbite on my feet. It was that cold, because diesel, once it's cold, fuel stays cold, doesn't just evaporate so easily, and it stays wet and damp. So it gave me a lot of problem. I had to change out my socks, had to change my boots even, just so, and the sling bag couldn't use it anymore. That had to be washed and had to be exchanged and stuff. So anyway, you gotta be careful of these kind of things, be aware of these kind of things. So sometimes the easy way is not the best way. So there you go. Listen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to thank you for coming to the channel and visit me. I'd appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Give me a thumbs up. All these videos, the more thumbs up I get, the better for the algorithm. That really helps out the channel. We've seen a decline in the channel. I guess my channel is not that good. So I'm trying to do a little bit better, but it's not always easy. I have a full-time job. I do this right here just for fun, actually. I'm not making any money off any of these videos because of the way the Google plays the game of being a foreigner living in another country. It's a little bit pain in the butt. So, and leave a comment down below. I read all your comments. I answer all your comments. Yeah, good or bad. And don't forget to share with your friends and your enemies. Listen, I hope you all have a pleasant day. Enjoy this great weather we're having today right now. And this is poncho here in Switzerland, the camp I live in. So it's a day off, and so sort of enjoying a little bit and out and about. And take care of yourselves. I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.